Hello and welcome to another Zach Carnage video. So this time we're going to be taking a quick look at some, ideas for a swarm army. So what this is mainly about is if you have a small game of like 500 to 1,000 points, anywhere in that sort of range, and you want to run a Scarab swarm army. So you're going to need tomb spiders, you're going to need Scarab swarms, and but you're in a low point cost, so you don't want to start off with too many Scarabs per unit. You don't want to start off with a unit of 10 and then expand it because it's going to cost too many points. So the idea that I thought you could do is you start off with two squads of 3 swarms. You probably have 4 spiders. I've only got 1 at the moment, hoping to get a few more soon. And you put 2 spiders with each swarm. Then put all of these guys right at the back of the battlefield, keep them away from your opponents, try and get out of line of sight, and then immediately you're going to start spawning. So first turn, you don't really expect to be shot at in the first turn by much. If you think that your opponent's got some good long-range, maybe blast templates, it might be a good idea to line up your Scarab swarms, so that if you have an opponent with blast templates, then if they scatter, they're a lot less likely to hit your unit. If they're in a line, well, at least a lot less likely to hit the whole unit. But you wanna keep them in 2 squads of 3 at any rate. Then, because you start spawning, immediately you're going to go up to 5 in each unit in the first turn. That's a good thing, because immediately you have enough that you can start taking wounds, but you still want to keep them back, because the point is that we're trying to earn back a whole ton of points, because you're playing a small game, so each turn that you get more Scarabs, you're earning, well, let's see, you've got 15 per swarm, and you've got 4 spiders, so you're getting, every turn you're getting 60 points worth of Scarabs extra on the table. Now, because this is a low point game, that means a heck of a lot more, because if it was a high point game, 60 points in a 2,000 point game, that's not a lot, but if you're in like a 750 game, 600 points is, 60 points is quite a lot each turn. If you can get that going for the whole game, let's see, 5, you'd have about 300 extra points, and that would take you up to a 1,000 point list, which would, be quite useful, really. But the problem is, how are you going to keep them spawning? Because you don't want to get them all shot down in the first couple of turns. So a good way to deal with this is you could get a Cryptek. Cryptek with the Solar Pulse. And if you have him there, then you'd probably leave it for the first turn, maybe use it in the second turn, because that's when your opponent starts moving up, starts trying to take pot shots at you, and your units probably aren't quite big enough for it to be worth it yet, and you might be lucky anyway and get night fighting on the first turn just by rolling. Another idea that you could do is you could bring out Imhotep. Now, I had a couple of ideas to do with him before previously, all involving death marks and the fact that he's a Pharaoh, but this is another perfectly viable use of Imhotep, because if you're starting off with small squads of only 3 Scarab swarms per unit, then it's a good idea to try and keep them alive by getting your night fighting in play, by using his special ability that brings storm clouds in and makes it really hard for your opponent to know what's going on. So that's just another idea of how you can try and keep them alive, because the main thing that you want to do with any swarm list is in the first couple of turns you want to be rapidly increasing the size of your units, but without them getting shot apart. So, any buildings, any cover, any night fighting rules that you can take advantage of, these are real boosters for your Scarabs. So I thought you might be interested to hearing that. You probably know quite a bit about that anyway. Just a couple of ideas. If you've got any comments or suggestions for what I can do about my Scarab farm list, just leave them down below. Don't forget to like this video, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.